All right, welcome to another episode. Let's go, Brandon Green. Today on the show, we have Adam, the tent guy, and he is the founder of startapartyrentalcompany.com. Adam, how are you? And how I'd say your business would have been heavily affected during the pandemic, buddy.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. So actually, it's quite the opposite. Party rental companies did not get that affected because all the indoor venues got shut down, but people were still going to have parties in their backyard. So people did.
Oh yeah, you're not in Australia. We weren't allowed to do that.
Well, we technically weren't allowed to either.
2 years. Oh really? But you still, we couldn't even imagine to do a business like that. So yeah, that's interesting. So you could still operate, and you're going gangbusters during that time.
Yeah, it was actually the best year. So like, you're not going to tell some backwoods people that they can't have a party. They're still going to have their party no matter what.
And what state's that in?
I'm in New York State.
Oh yeah, New York, cool. Yeah, mate, we just compliant eye over here. What about? So, what made you get into this, and how long have you been doing it for? And you're helping people start a franchise up, or just their own one, I'd imagine.
Yeah, start their own. So I did this straight out of college. So 2004, 2005-ish, I started my own company because I had a roommate in college who worked for a party rental company, and I would go occasionally work there. And then I parlayed that into a summer job. I could use the reference to get summer job back at, when I went back home. Mm-hmm. And then I saw the invoices and I'm like, oh my God, these people are making a lot of money. So 2 weeks before college ended, I cashed out some bonds, maxed out my credit cards, and bought some stuff. And then I never was actually trying to grow. I was just a young kid. People were asking for things, so I would take my money and put it back in. And I was working 80 hours a week so I could buy stuff for the next summer that people were asking for. And it kind of accidentally grew until one day I woke up and I'm like, whoa, I got a lot of money. And I've been doing this for so long. This is basically all I got a doctorate in party rental business, basically.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I decided to point a camera at my face and be a douchebag and upload stuff to YouTube. And people started liking it and asking a lot of questions. So I started getting inundated with questions, more than I can handle in a day. So I made a Patreon and I made a course to like funnel that down to like the people who are really serious about it. So I made the course. I was anti-courses for a long time.
So now you got people from all over America, even the world?
Yeah. There's one person in Australia. There's some people in India. It's mostly the U.S.
India? Yeah, right. They can put that in the backyard over there, hey?
Right.
Yeah, right. So what? So now people just find you and say, is it more like a catering business side of things, or is it the whole?
So I do some of the catering equipment, but no. So most people are starting with a tent, tables, and chairs. Like when you go on YouTube and TikTok, everyone's talking about buying assets and renting them out like a house. Yeah. But like young people can't afford a down payment on a house. Yeah. But what I have are still considered assets. Maybe someone has $1,000, they can go buy some tables and chairs, and that's an asset still that they are renting out and making money over and over and over. And as long as they put that money back into their business and keep buying more stuff, one day they do the same thing. They wake up and they never have money issues ever again.
Yeah, right. And is this something that anyone can get into, or do they have to have a special type of personality or anything, any background skill?
I'd say anyone can get into it, but as with anything, you kind of got to be willing to put in the work. Throughout the 5 years, I've been either helping people on YouTube, Patreon, or the course. I've only seen a few people fail, and it's just because they didn't put in the work. As long as you're doing something, like even just make a Facebook page and your parents share it, you're at least going to make your money back. The only people that lost money are the dumb ones. So I'd say, it's a bit of a hustle in the beginning. You're just doing a lot of physical labor, hustling and putting your money back in. And as long as you're diligent about putting your money back in and hiring employees, there's party rental companies that make $20, $30 million a year. and it blows people's minds. But if you ever been into an event, downtown in the city, and there's big giant tents everywhere, the city doesn't own those. The city's paying $500,000 to a party rental company to put those up.
Yeah. Right. And how much would someone need to get started?
So in the U.S., just to get started, it's about $3,000 for your first tent, tables, and chairs. And within 10 rentals, 10 weekends, it's paid for.
Yeah, yeah. Huh. And you don't need anything like, what about, that's just for that, like your bare minimum. Is there a recommendation that you spend a little bit more money on this, and this?
So no, not in the beginning. I think in the beginning, you're just getting your feet wet.
So you just want to scale up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You'll pay attention, and people are going to call you for things. They'll say, "Do you have this size tent? Or do you have this style chair?" And then you'll know that people want those things, and you'll be like, "Okay, let's go that way." Like for instance, I was getting calls from caterers asking, "Do you have ovens and grills and fridges?" I'm like, I don't, but if you need them, I do now.
What about PA equipment and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's a lot of party rental companies that do that. I kind of just stick away from that.
Yeah.
I like.
So you're just the tent guy.
I'm the tent, tables, chairs, dinnerware, glassware, dance floor, restroom trailers, things like that. I try to stick away from too much anything that has power, even though the ovens and refrigerators have power, but they're kind of a nightmare to me most weekends.
So people going, so these ovens are portable when they're set up. That's crazy.
No, I mean, it's a real oven you see in a restaurant.
Yeah. But where do they set them up?
Oh, they put them up under a tent.
So all this food's not cut or just not shipped in?
No, they're catering it then.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey,
what?
This says my recording stopped.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
What does it say up there?
It says keep this page open while we upload your recording. Leave 99%, leave studio, and continue upload.
Yeah, it's still getting recorded on this end, so that should be fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, okay, so, yeah, what was I saying about so people, all that other stuff, you're saying they just need to get the tables, chairs, tents going.
Yeah, and then from there, you just reinvest money and listen to what people want. And I currently make around $1 million a year, and that kind of blows people's minds because all I'm doing is providing tents, tables, and chairs. But if you think about it, there's parties going on everywhere. Like I said, this is a lot easier for someone to get into than buying a house. And then I've taken this money, and then I bought Airbnbs and venues and land and stuff. So like I started as a young kid, renting out something that I owned, and now use that money for other things.
Yeah, right. And so how come you're getting into the training side of things?
Well, it was mostly a time issue, basically. So like I got the YouTube channel and people found me on Facebook and this and that. And so I'm getting messages constantly all day long. And it's kind of hard to keep up with. So like the training is more of a funnel. So let me talk to the serious people. If I'm going to be spending my time doing this, I need to talk to the people who really want to maybe do this business. Yeah. Because answering 1,000 messages a day just isn't feasible.
Yeah. They have to come through and pay you, and you do it all properly for them, and then they help the best as well. That's great.
Yeah. So the course, I mean, it's a 30-hour course, and people have told me that's quite long for a course. So like I went really in depth for it because I know the stigma of courses. Like you buy a course online, 60% chance it's going to be crap. So I made sure that it was good. And then we got a Facebook group where we meet once a month and talk on Zoom. And then there's one-on-one calls as well. So I'm trying to give value. Like I find.
And do you find it works as well in Australia as it does America?
I mean, we're on different time zones, but
I mean the
the
stuff
business.
the business model.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, we're going to be talking about some different things like how you organize the business and your taxes and stuff. But the
Yeah.
day-to-day stuff of dealing with
Oh, you go
customers.
that far into it for Americans?
Yeah.
Wow. How much is
And
the
I mean,
course?
it's 389.
Wow, that's cheap.
So
$389, and they've got a. You said it was around $3,000 to set up, and $3,500. You're already half cooking, man.
I figured out how much money I've made mistakes on,
Exactly.
and put it. I'm not a very good salesman at all. I kind of feel icky talking about it. But anyways, I've calculated that I've made about $500,000 in mistakes that I would have gladly paid someone a little bit of money to not make those mistakes.
Yeah, and
And
time.
yeah, so for 389, basically you get to avoid $300,000 of mistakes. And plus, a big thing about my thing is efficiency. So I teach everyone like the most efficient way to do stuff, so that instead of taking 2 hours to do something, you cut it down to half an hour kind of thing. And so then that saves time, which saves money.
Yeah, man. No need for people to reinvent the wheel when you've already got it there,
Right.
right in front of them. No, that's great. So, what's the best website and YouTube where people can find you on?
YouTube is the Tent Guy. Just type in
Yeah.
the Tent Guy. And if you got no money, you can watch my 2,000 videos on there, and you kind of get the overall general of the course.
Gist of it, yeah.
Yeah, but the course is like really in depth and straight to the point, and just like more massive. And that's startapartyrentalcompany.com.
Yeah. All right. Great. Well, man, I'll throw this on the website and have a links to that, and then people can check that out from Australia. And if they've got any questions, I'm sure they'll be more than willing to sign up and get going with you, because it sounds like people spend hundreds of thousands on buying a business where they've got to really slog at for 50, 60 hours a week. And you're saying, hey, I've got something over here that I did it, and you can scale accordingly, and it's actually quite intriguing. It's a good business model from what I can see, man.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're driving around next time, pay attention. You'll see tents around. You didn't pay attention to them before, but you'll see them. And those
then
people are
the
making
higher you
a lot
go
of
up,
money.
the clients get they got that money where they just pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my friend,
For
he does 10
functions
million.
and stuff.
Yeah, my friend does 10 million a year.
Yeah.
His average wedding pays $150,000 for his stuff, and that's not including all the other stuff they need for the wedding.
Yeah, right. Jesus. But I'm thinking more like governments pay for functions, and
oh, there's that too. Yeah, those are big money.
They're big, yeah, and you can go that big, I guess, eventually. But it all starts with small little weddings and things like that. Yep. Parties.
It all starts with one tent.
That's what it sounds like. All right, Adam. Well, thanks for coming on, and I wish you luck in the future. And we'll set up a page, and then people can check it out.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Brandon. Have a good one.
Thanks, buddy. You too. Bye.